नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। ओम ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरोन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपां साग्रजातं सगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे नम ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती नामिने श्रीवर्षभानुवी देवी दयिताय कृपाब्धये कृष्ण संबंध विज्ञान दायिने प्रभवे नमः। माधुर्योज्वल प्रेमाध्याय श्री रूपानुग भक्तिदा श्री गौरा करुणा शक्ति विग्रहाय नमस्तुते। नमस्ते गौरवाणी श्रीमूर्तये दीनतारिणे रूपानुगा विरुद्ध सिद्धांत ध्वंत हारिणे नमो गौरकिशोराय साक्षात् वैराग्यमूर्तये रसाम्भोधे पादाम्बुजाय ते नमः। नमो भक्ति विनोदाय सच्चिदानन्दनामिने गौरशक्ति स्वरूपाय रूपानुगावराय ते गौराविर्भाव भूमे स्वं निर्देष्टा सज्जनप्रिया वैष्णव सार्वभौम श्री जगन्नाथाय ते नमः। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णा प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरात्मषे नमः। पंचतत्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूप स्वरूपकं भक्तवतार भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकम्। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते। जयतां सुरतो पंगोर्मम मंद मतिर्गति मत्सर्वस्य पदाम्भोजौ राधा मदन मोहनौ दिव्य धृंदारण्य कल्पद्रुमादव श्रीमद् रत्नागर सिंहासनस्थौ श्रीमद् राधा श्रील गोविंद देवो पृष्ठालिभि सेव्यमानौ स्मरामि। श्रीमान् रासरसारम्भी वंशी वटतटस्थितौ कर्षन् वेणुस्वनैर्गोपी गोपीनाथ श्रियेस्तु नः। तप्तकाञ्चन घोराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा। So we are starting a new chapter today. We are discussing chapter number 6 of the second canto. The chapter is called Purusha Sukta Confirm. Okay? Please remember that at least. What is Purusha Sukta? It's not like there's a Bengali dish, right? Sukta. It's nothing to do with that. Just in case someone is getting creative. Huh? Yes, Mr. More. Okay. Where is it found? Purusha Sukta, the Krishna book. Very nice. Yes. So yeah, when the advent of Lord Krishna at that time. So originally the Purusha Sukta prayers are actually found in Rig Veda. Many of these yagyas also they chant Purusha Sukta and Shri Sukta. So every yagya basically they will chant that. So actually when initially when I attended a couple of yagyas by our ISKCON devotees, mantra pata hai. Like it's amazing, and they do different yagyas, and after a while you realize that 80% they chant the same thing. They chant Purusha Sukta, they chant Shri Sukta. So Purusha Sukta is directed towards Krishna, and Shri Sukta is directed towards Radharani, and then they chant Mangalacharan, the entire Mangalacharan, and then whatever is the yagya, some mantras of that. So if it's a Narsimha yagya, then they'll chant some Narsimha prayers. So it's basically glorification of the Lord. Purusha, the original Purusha. We sing every day, Govindam Adi Purusham Tam Aham Bhajami. Adi Purush. What does Adi Purush mean? First person. First person. Adi. First Purush. So confirmed here. It's confirmed by whom? Lord Brahma. Lord Brahma. So who is Lord Brahma addressing these prayers to? He's telling Narad about it, but who is he addressing these prayers to? Specifically, huh? He is addressing these prayers to Garbhodakshai Vishnu. Why is he addressing these prayers to Garbhodakshai Vishnu? That's the only person he sees. Who's from where did he come out of? Nabhi Vishnu. Many people thought it was the right answer. Nabhi, if you'll only those who participated in that test session will understand this joke. Garbhodakshai Vishnu. So here, if you see over there, that's Brahma. Then who is this Vishnu? Mahavishnu or Karanodakshai Vishnu. From whose pores what comes out? Millions and millions of universes come out. So that previous whole chapter was discussing all of this. That how creation takes place. How creation takes place. Who is the creator? Who is the maintainer? Ultimately, where does it all go into? How does it happen? All that is discussed in the previous chapter and some part of this chapter also. So Narad asked questions, Brahma answered by explaining this whole process of creation. Mahavishnu, he glances, if you remember, he glances and agitates and activates the modes. And through that, then, one by one, starting with false ego, all the different elements, the 26 elements, they come, from which then actually creation takes place. And then the souls also come from Mahavishnu. And then in each universe, there is a Garbhodakshai Vishnu, from whose navel a Brahma comes. Therefore, in each universe, there is a, complete the sentence, there is a Brahma. In each universe, there is a Brahma. And then Brahma, it is dark, and then Brahma doesn't know what to do, and then he hears two words, two sounds. Tapa, perform austerity. And then Brahma performs austerity, and all the knowledge is revealed to him. So some part of that is actually discussed in these verses also. Sukta actually means well spoken. Su Ukta, well spoken. So the well, these are all prayers, wonderful prayers befitting the personality, which is here in Brahma's case, it is Garbhodakshai Vishnu. The same prayers can ultimately go up to Krishna. So, if you remember, the previous chapter ends with the description of the Vishwaroop. So, this chapter continues with that description of the Vishwaroop, wherein in verse 2, this is mentioned. Someone can read. So, like this, the next many verses go on describing different aspects of the Lord's body to creation. Someone is logged in on Zoom, I think. या तो यहाँ पे है वो उसको स्पीकर को ऑफ कर दो. Oh, I could hear when he was reading. मैंने कर दिया. So basically, everything comes from the Lord. This is what is there. Which chapter of Bhagavad Gita this is mentioned? No, chapter number. Which chapter this universal form is mentioned? 11th chapter. Many of the esteemed audience are actually Bhakti Shastri degree holders here. We are yet to give the certificates. Please remind me next time. I'll get it printed and we will officially give them the certificates. And while handing the certificates, we'll ask some question also. And then we'll keep it back. When this section gets over, Srila Prabhupada writes one amazing purport of basically, now this can seem theory to us. His two nostrils are the generating centers of our breathing and of all other airs. तो मैं क्या करूं? So what? What is it for me? So Prabhupada basically summarizes this by saying that the source of everything is Krishna. And since he is the source of everything, he is the source of everything we also have. And he is the source of everything that we need. And he is the source of everything that we are trying to exploit to gratify ourselves or to enjoy ourselves or to be peaceful or be secured. Whatever we are trying to do, the source of everything is Krishna. A sane person must know for certain that a living being, however powerful he may be, is neither absolute nor independent. The intelligent class of men, therefore, must admit the Lord as the ultimate source of all energies and thus pay tribute to the Lord for his good blessing. Simply by accepting the Lord as the supreme proprietor of everything, since he is actually so, one can achieve the highest perfection of life. Whatever a person may be in the estimation of the social order of things, if a person tries to reciprocate a feeling of love towards the Supreme Personality of Godhead and is satisfied with the blessings of the Lord, he will at once feel the highest peace of mind for which he is anchoring life after life. This one short paragraph has a lot of practical tips for us, ending with he will achieve the highest peace of mind for which he is anchoring life after life. Let's see the first thing which we have underlined. The intelligent class of men and women must admit the Lord as the ultimate source of all energies. Verse from Bhagavad Gita. Aham sarvasya prabhu matta sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvita. Krishna says that I am the source of everything. Aham sarvasya prabhu matta sarvam pravartate. Everything comes from me. Iti matva bhajante mam buddha. Those who are intelligent, they understand this, and what do? Iti matva bhajante mam. They worship me. They perform my bhajan. They worship me. And from this, then Krishna says, after understanding that I am the source of everything, how do they start to worship me? Then that next verse is Matchitta, Madgata, Prana, Bodhayanta, Parasparam. They talk to each other, they enlighten each other, Tushyanti cha, Ramanti cha, and therefore they experience happiness. So basically, happiness for a devotee lies in these things. Happiness for a devotee does not lie in material things. The new watch or the new phone or the new car or the new cloth, whatever it may be, new home. We know from experience that none of those things can give highest peace of mind. Highest peace of mind. They will give some peace of mind, but it's not highest and it's temporary. But in this verse of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is saying ki bodhayanta parasparam kathayantascha mam nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. They are experiencing newer and newer pleasures by simply doing what? Talking about me, enlightening about me, and in this way enlivening each other. So it starts with this. We accept that whatever I have, whatever I own, or even whatever I'm seeking, the source of it all is Krishna. Krishna is the source. Prabhupada is saying the intelligent class of men, then what do? And thus pay tribute to the Lord for his good blessings. What are the good blessings? What are his good blessings here in connection to this line only? What does Prabhupada refer to by this word, good blessings? Yeah, this here is saying that must admit the Lord as the ultimate source of all energies and thus pay tribute for his good blessings. What are the good blessings? This only. This body that he has given me, all these things that he has given me, this intelligence that he has given me, whatever I have, they are the blessings of the Lord. How are they the blessings of the Lord? If someone wishes to challenge this statement and say, how can you prove it is the blessings of the Lord? Okay, but how does that prove that it's Krishna? Yes, Mahapati Prabhu. They can be taken away by the Lord at any time. And there are so many examples to prove that. Prabhupada says that, our arms are functioning, our body is functioning. Somebody else in 1 second they get a stroke and they are paralyzed. And that doesn't work. So it can happen just like that. Yesterday I went to a doctor, some leg trouble, nerve trouble. So he told me this, that, sab kuch, examination and everything. In the end, I asked him, how did this happen? Because this is like the third doctor I'm going to. First question they always ask, कुछ injury हुआ क्या, कुछ गिर गए क्या, कुछ नहीं. मैं जब कर रहा था एक दिन सडनली 7 बजे सुबह को बेल बजा मंदिर का, मैं उठा और तब से लेके नेक्स्ट 4 महीने तक अब तक ये दर्द है. कुछ नहीं हुआ. उसके पहले आप कुछ स्पोर्ट्स खेल रहे थे? नहीं, अनफॉर्चुनेटली खेलने की इच्छा होती है पर so then in the end I asked him, how did this happen? You are a doctor, you are so experienced. कैसे हुआ? I don't know. We don't know. We don't know. When someone gets cancer, you ask them, ठीक है डॉक्टर कैसे हुआ? मैं ना तो स्मोक करता हूँ, ना तो ड्रिंक करता हूँ, ना तो मेरा कोई ऐसे बुरा लाइफ स्टाइल, कैसे हुआ? What will he say? I don't know. So whatever we have, you can even argue a person whose body even has cancer. At least you have a body. At least you have things. At least you have some intelligence. And to take it one step further for devotees, at least we came in contact with Krishna consciousness. All of these things are the good blessings of the Lord. Not that day when I get a windfall gain, some extra money is credited, or some good thing happens, or someone gifts me something very nice, or people suddenly realize my potential and start praising me, or my social media channel kicks off. If those happen, those are extra blessings of the Lord. But these things, the day-to-day activities, are also the blessings of the Lord. Ultimately, as Prabhupada says, not a blade of grass can move without the sanction of the Lord. Whatever we have is ultimately sanctioned by Krishna. And without his sanction, it cannot happen. So a devotee is supposed to even think of this. And what does Prabhupada say? And what to do with it then? Pay tribute. Pay tribute to the Lord. How do we pay tribute to the Lord? Okay, we chant Hare Krishna. That's actually also, it's at our stage, at least at my stage, it's for self purification. How else do? But ultimately, yes, it is glories of the Lord. How else? Prayers. Prayers. We offer prayers. But the prayers where we are asking for things are not prayers of tribute. But the prayers where we are glorifying the Lord, those are prayers. Like, I have seen many devotees when they come for Darshanarti, when this Govindam Adi Purusham is going on, they just chant, and ultimately, though, it is just that, no? After the two verses are sung, Yamuna Madhuri, she's just repeating this. Govindam Adi Purusham Tamam Bhajami, Govindam Adi Purusham Tamam Bhajami, Govindam Adi Purusham. And over here in our temple, they play the whole track. So it's 3.5 minutes. It just goes on and goes on. What does that mean? Govindam Adi Purusham Tam Aham Bhajami. Lord Krishna, Govinda, you are Adi Purush, Tam Aham, offering obeisances to you, praying to you, glorifying you. So even this simple thing, recognizing मेरे पास जो भी है कृष्णा की कृपा से है, and I should pay tribute every day. Even if I don't come for दर्शनार्थी, I should pay tribute. ठीक है, हम नहीं आते दर्शनार्थी में. At home, we all have pictures of Radha Ras Bihari or some deity at our home. We pray. And in this way, we pay tribute. And then what does Prabhupada say? Whatever a person may be in the estimation of the social order of things, if a person tries to reciprocate a feeling of love towards the Supreme Personality of Godhead and is satisfied with the blessings of the Lord. Now, we just discussed what are the blessings of the Lord? Whatever we have. Whatever we have. Something good happens, blessing of the Lord. Something bad happens, blessing of the Lord. It's not as if, when something good happens, I did it. When something bad happens, Lord, what is this? When some people uh, in some situations are happy, I did it. Sad. What is this, Lord? What are you doing? A pure devotee, when he is happy, he's thanking the Lord. Oh, you're so glorious. You did something very nice. When something disturbing happens, yeah, everyone please put your phones on silent. When something disturbing happens, he's glorifying the Lord. When something disturbing happens, how is the devotee glorifying the Lord? You have reduced it for me. You're so kind to me. Who am I? But still, you're so kind to me. How you can say कि कम हो गया? क्या proof क्या है कम हो गया? क्या पता भगवान ने कुछ उल्टा कर दिया, ज्यादा आ गया? How do you answer that? So Krishna says, I will protect my devotee. Ultimately, it's a matter of consciousness. A devotee will always think that, oh, I deserved much worse. Krishna let me off the hook. He's so kind. When something good happens, what did I do? Krishna is so kind. Whether something good happens or something bad happens, the devotee looks at it as blessing of the Lord. We see in the life of Prabhupada, whenever something good used to happen, this is all the mercy of my Guru Maharaj. Our Maharaj also, whenever, one of the last meetings I went, I was talking to him, I was just glorifying him somehow, just glorifying him in his room, just one on one. And he just said, Krishna has been very kind to me. Krishna has been very kind. And after, when the glorification was going on in Vrindavan, the day after he left, Purijan Prabhu said the same thing. He said, when our Govardhan retreat center opened last year, Maharaj came and Maharaj was glorifying me, and I started glorifying Maharaj. Maharaj, what is this? What all you have done? He says, you have done this and that and that. And Maharaj just looked down and said, Prabhupada has been very kind. Same thing. So when something good happens, we feel, oh, Krishna is so kind. Oh, the acharyas are so kind. When something bad happens, we feel, Krishna is so kind. Krishna is so. In every situation, Krishna is so kind. We read in the first canto. By the way, those of you who are not joining our evening reading session, I'm planning to rejoin now. We have restarted first canto. So we completed all 12 cantos of Bhagavatam from March 2020 till last month we completed April 2024. That's it. Half an hour investment. If you did, you read the whole Bhagavatam. SIP का बाप है ये. It's the father of mutual funds, spiritual mutual funds. So in that we read the prayers of Bhishma Dev and Yudhishthir Maharaj. Krishna sent Yudhishthir Maharaj, जाओ भीष्म से console. Bhishma will console you. And Bhishma Dev tells him, you all are devotees. You all are not just devotees, you all are topmost devotees. And in spite of that, one after the other, reversal after reversal came in your life. One after the other difficulty came, and not just some altu faltu difficulty, unimaginable difficulties came. People are thinking, my God, abhi, this election weird result has come. My God, अभी क्या होगा? Stock market crash हो जाएगा. बाद में सरकार टूट जाएगी. बाप रे, ये क्या हो गया? वो क्या हो गया? वो क्या हो गया? He's saying unimaginable difficulties have come in your life. And Krishna was right there. You're his devotee. He's present on the planet. And still all this is happening with you. He concludes, this is the play of Kal, time. This is all the time factor. It's doing these things. But because you guys did three things, you worship the Lord, you took care of the devotees, and you worship the sadhus. Worship the Lord, worship the sadhus, took care of the devotees, and followed Shastra. These three things. Because you did that, you sailed through these difficulties. Same thing Kunti Maharani tells Krishna when he's going. When that difficulty happened, you were right there. When that difficulty happened, you were right there. When the man-eating monster attacked, you were right there. When the house of Lag got destroyed, you were right there. When Draupadi was disrobed, you were right there. When Ashwathama attacked, you were right there. And then what does she say? Let those things happen again. Why? Because then you will be right there. She's not praying for those difficulties because she enjoys difficulties. She's saying, I know your blessing will be there. In difficult situation, more blessings will be there. That's how a devotee looks at it. Difficulty दिया ना, तो कुछ ना कुछ तो अभी भगवान को करना ही पड़ेगा. Why? कौन्तेय प्रतिजानीहि न मे भक्ता प्रणश्यति. हूं ना मैं डिवोटी, है ना ये 3 राउंड या 2 राउंड या 1 राउंड है ना, जो भी है नालायक डिवोटी ऊपर हूं ना डिवोटी. Our Sridhar Maharaj Prabhupada disciples, these are my dog tag. Dog tag, collar. That means what? He has a master. He belongs to somebody. Koi hai uska. Someone is there. So Sridhar Maharaj used to take these and say, this is my dog tag. I'm Prabhupada's dog. He had a cap also. It's there. If you go to the first floor, there's a nice memorial made of Sridhar Swami. And in that his cap is there. It says Prabhupada's dog. So a devotee thinks like that. And the reason why we are highlighting this. Now see, you would think a Purusha Sukta chapter, matlab, ठीक है, test दे दिया तो थोड़ा हो गया. But you read what Prabhupada is writing in this chapter. So Srila Prabhupada is making it so practical. This is practical for us. Always remember that whatever is coming from the Lord, and whatever we have are the blessings of the Lord. Whether good or bad, they are blessings. And in good situations, a devotee will glorify the Lord. In a difficult situation, a devotee will still glorify the Lord and expect, okay, yeah, now you need to take care of me. Now you need to take care. A dog, even if he's disobedient, if he has a dog tag, okay, he has a master. Okay, ठीक है, I'm not a very nice devotee. I'm not an exceptional devotee. I'm not a advanced devotee. I have my shortcomings. In fact, it's a big bag of shortcomings. उसमें से 2-3 अच्छे qualities है. If someone thinks like this, genuinely, Krishna will take care. In fact, in difficult situations, wonderful realizations come. Best realizations come in difficult situations because we have a tendency, when everything is good, we become, we space out. And when things are difficult, then that's when we think, I need devotees, I need Krishna, I need to chant. So whether a good thing happens or a bad thing happens, it's the blessing of the Lord. And if we are satisfied with the blessings of the Lord, satisfied. Indraduna Maharaj, he jokes that Prabhupada coined this phrase, no, chant and be happy. He said Prabhupada forgot one word, two words. Anyone guess? Huh? Struggling. He said the two words are try to. Chant and try to be happy. Chant and happy का अपने स्टेज पे कोई correlation नहीं है. So therefore chant and try to be happy. Our Maharaj used to, whenever we used to go to him with some problem, he said this, she said that, she nahi, he only, he said this, he did that, yeah, oh. And she said, just be humble, just tolerate it, just be humble, just tolerate it. Bar bar wohi answer. And it was not just for me. In the glorification, so many devotees said, Maharaj wohi bolte the. Trinad abhi suni changa, Trinad abhi suni changa. That was like the verse Maharaj must have quoted the most. He had the right to do it because he imbibed it. Whole body, he was just imbibing that. And then when he wanted to get rid of you, कि हाँ ठीक है बहुत सुन लिया मेरे पास यही solution है क्योंकि मैं भी यही कर रहा हूँ, then he had a box of peda. Or those of you who went to his, and then when you know that वो पेड़ा का box खुल गया मतलब महाराज politely बोल रहे हैं, and then he would give you the peda. And initially it is अच्छा महाराज आएंगे ना solution मिलेगा, Maharaj will take care of this, and then you should wait, Maharaj आने वाले. And then Maharaj would come and then you would have your whole thing, Maharaj this happened and that happened, मैंने तो ये ठीक किया वो. And then you would expect solution. And then Maharaj would say, okay, I'll speak to him, but you also be humble. Peda. And it's as if, then initially, after a while you got used to it, and after a while you stopped complaining also. Then it was, you knew. But initially you would be like, look at that peda, and you think what he's trying to say is, if you want any sweetness in your life, just expect it just from these prasad items only. Don't expect it from the material world. कुछ happiness चाहिए ना, ये पेड़ा खाओ, and just tolerate. And his life was just like that. So much he tolerated. One devotee in his realization was saying, Maharaj told me, I asked Maharaj, क्या ये tolerate कब? मैं भी तो कर रहा हूँ. तुम imagine नहीं कर सकते हो मैं कितना tolerate कर रहा हूँ. So we tolerate and try to be humble and chant Hare Krishna and look at everything as the blessings of the Lord. And the point is, if we with a good consciousness, day in and day out, year in and year out, do this, Prabhupada is saying, we will achieve the highest peace of mind, for which we have been hankering life after life. Because if we get into the habit, okay, I will tolerate, I'll try to be humble, I'll tolerate, I'll try to be humble, eventually we will genuinely become humble. And when we are genuinely humble, so much blessings of the Lord, so much blessings of the devotees we will attract. Kunti Maharani in her prayer, she says also, Lord, you are akinchana gochar. You are the friend of the humble. You are the friend of those who don't think themselves to be very great. Because those who think themselves to be very great, Krishna, ठीक है तो कर ना, do. You think you're great, okay? You don't need me. So we do this, and then highest peace of mind. Prabhupada continues, peace of mind, or in other words, the healthy state of the mind. Peace of mind is what? The healthy state of the mind. Can be achieved. only when the mind is situated in transcendental loving service of the Lord. The parts and parcels of the Lord are endowed with specific powers for rendering service unto the Lord, just as a big business magnate's son are empowered with specific powers of administration. The obedient son of the father never goes against the will of the father and therefore passes life very peacefully in concurrence with the head of the family, the father. Similarly, the Lord being the Father, all living beings should fully and satisfactorily discharge the duty and will of the Father as faithful sons. This very mentality will at once bring peace and prosperity to human society. This very mentality, thinking like this, everything belongs to the Lord, I am His child, I should follow His will. This mentality, Prabhupada is saying, will bring peace. Our mind will become peaceful if we accept this. That, yeah, even a difficulty, blessing of the Lord. If I take it in the right way, something good will come out of it. And for a devotee, what is the definition of something good? It will take us closer to Krishna, or closer to the devotees, or closer to the process of devotional service. This is good. Good मतलब ये नहीं कि हाँ ठीक है ये दुख में सुख का जो कर्मीज का definition है, that's completely different. Someone may think that what happened, this difficult situation you went through, क्या बड़ा क्या? Hopefully, I'll be able to say my faith increased or my taste increased. Something will increase. The 11th canto gives a perfect example of this in the Avanti Brahman. The Avanti Brahman, this also story Maharaj used to like to quote a lot. Avanti Brahman was a rich Brahman, a rich person, but he was what? Although he was rich, he was very miserly, very conjuice, very, very miserly. And when a person is very miser, what happens? What do others think about that person? Do they like him? So his wife, his children, nobody liked him. But because he had money, then what were they doing? They were nice to him. They were tolerating him, they were nice to him. Then, by the will of providence, one day came, he lost everything. In due course of time, he was penniless. Now, what did the wife and children and other relatives do? निकलो निकलो यहाँ से. जब था दिया नहीं, अभी नहीं है, अभी क्यों टॉलरेट करें? तब तक हम we were tolerating with the hope that one day either you will change or you will die and we'll get something. Before that only you lost everything. Get out. Get lost. And he was out and he was, on the street and people were kicking him and people were abusing him and it was just, and in that he got self-realization. And nobody actually liked me. They only liked my money. And I was so miser with it. And I still lost it. I was so miser, इतना बचा के रखा as if मैं ले जाऊंगा उसको अपने साथ. And being miserly, I still lost it. What's the use? And then started glorifying the Lord, appreciating the Lord. And in that, he became very happy. So when he had so much money and people were nice to him, he was miserable. Now he has nothing, people are abusing him, and he's happy. Like contradiction. But now he's understood the reality of the world and he's appreciating the Lord. And because of that, he's appreciating the Lord, he's happy. So, devotees being in the world should not mentally invest in the world. If you were really attached to the election and to whatever, then either you are very, very happy or you are very, very sad. But if you look at it, it's not going to make much difference in your life anyway. People were thinking, अच्छे दिन आएंगे, अच्छे दिन आएंगे, अच्छे दिन आएंगे. Our definition of अच्छे दिन is something else. And nothing in the material world can change that. So the Avanti Brahman then, after a series of these verses, he says this wonderful verse, we can chant. Nunam me bhagavam stushta sarva deva mayo hari येन नीतो दशामेताम् निर्वेदश्चात्मन प्लवा. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Hari, who contains within himself all the demigods, must be satisfied with me. Indeed, he has brought me to the suffering condition and forced me to experience detachment, which is the boat to carry me over this ocean of material life. Brahma prays, Samasritaye pada pallavaplavam mahatpadam punya yasho murari bhavam buddhir vatsa padam param padam 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 yad vipadam antesha. Saying this, your lotus feet are like the boat that carry me across this ocean of the material world. And if I hold on to you, then this ocean is like the water contained in the hoof print of a calf. Not even cow, calf. Itna sa. Anyone can cross. He's saying, if I hold on to your lotus feet, if I serve you, all these difficulties of life, I will easily be able to cross. When Brahma is saying someone will easily be able to cross, he does not mean you will be able to solve your difficulty. प्रभु मैं इतना जप कर रहा हूँ, इतना ये कर रहा हूँ, डिफिकल्टी तो जा नहीं रहा लाइफ से. No, sometimes people they come to Krishna consciousness. जप करूंगा तो क्या होगा? And we also market the holy name in wonderful ways. जप करो चले जाएगा प्रॉब्लम. हाँ गीता पढ़ो चले जाएगा प्रॉब्लम. क्लास में आओ एसओएस अटेंड करो चलेगा प्रॉब्लम. And they do it. And the problem is still there. थोड़ा और करो. And then we say थोड़ी जाएगा अभी. And then we give those examples. इतना पाप किया है, इतना ये किया है, टाइम लगता है. We give the example. फैन का स्विच बंद कर दिया, थोड़ा टाइम तो रोटेट होगा ना. We have all these examples. It's still there. But then what happens in that process? If you hook onto somebody, if you hook somebody for a sufficient period of time, they'll realize that, yeah, okay. Like all of us. You'll realize कि हाँ ठीक है अभी. Perspective changes. Perspective changes. So when Brahma is saying this, he's basically saying, or when even Avanti Brahman is saying this, what are they saying? That my perspective has changed. And now I'm peaceful. So to summarize all these verses, Krishna is the source of everything and we are completely dependent on Krishna. Now you can think, we'll go ahead, but you can think about these two lines and maybe you can take a photo and then you think of how you can, in your own life, give examples to prove both these statements. Krishna is the source of everything. How can I prove it in my life? And I am completely dependent on Krishna. How can I prove this in my life? Maybe while going home or while eating prasad today, you can think of this. These things actually increase our faith. These things make us chant better. These things make us read attentively. When we are more conscious of Krishna. Therefore, Prabhupada calls it Krishna consciousness. If you ponder over things like this, we become more conscious of Krishna. Krishna is the source of everything. How can I prove it with examples of my life? Not कि हाँ विष्णु के नाभि से ब्रह्मा निकले, ब्रह्मा ने ये किया, वो विष्णु ने देखा और वो सब एक्टिवेट हो गया और वो नहीं. In my life, how can I prove Krishna is the source of everything? And how am I completely dependent on Krishna? Okay? So, the next few verses, Lord Brahma tells Narad, till now he's spoken about all the elements. All the elements. All the different elements, 24 elements he has spoken. He's not spoken about one important factor of creation, which is याद ही नहीं है वो क्या 24 एलिमेंट्स थे तो कहाँ बताएंगे क्या मिसिंग है उसमें. The soul. The soul. So now in the next few verses, Lord Brahma describes two categories of souls. And it is called Ekapad Vibhuti and Tripad Vibhuti. The two kinds of souls. Basically, the souls in the material world and the souls in the spiritual world. And what is the difference in terms of quality? So, cycle of birth and death very much present here and completely absent over there, right? There is no birth and death over there. What is the verse from Bhagavad Gita? For no birth and death over there. Tadhama parama mama. Not come back. Not come. Eternal. Lord's inclination, not inclined, and fully inclined. And then there is the us. We are not inclined. We are not fully inclined. We are hopefully getting here and not regressing backwards. We are hopefully getting there. Of course, pure devotees in the material world are fully inclined to serve. We see that video Maharaj sleeping, and we see the one good thing about eating in Govindas. Of course, there are many good things, but out of them, one good thing is if you look at that television, then Prabhupada's videos go on. I should not say the one good thing. There are many good things. Out of them, one very important good thing is uh, the videos go on. And then you should always sit on a chair where you are looking at the screen rather than ulta. And then you see Prabhupada's activities, the personality, fully Krishna conscious, fully inclined to the Lord. Brahmananda Prabhu says, no, whenever Prabhupada had a free time, he would either be chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra or reciting some Brahma Samhita prayer, prayers of King Kulashekar, something or the other. He would always be chanting if he had any free time. Fully inclined. हम लोग बीच के हैं. Nature of the souls, here we want to lord it over. Whatever the Lord has given, we want to lord it over it. And pure devotees, fear present, there's no fear. सर्वधर्मान परित्यज्य माम एकम शरणं व्रज अहम त्वं सर्व पापेभ्यो मोक्षयिष्यामि मा शुचा. I'll take care. Forgetfulness. Do we have forgetfulness of Krishna? Yes. To the degree it is absent, to that degree we are more Krishna conscious. But there's definitely there for someone like me, even in Darshan Arti in front of Radha Rasbihari, there will be forgetfulness of the Lord. After sometimes I think कौन सा color का dress था, and I absolutely don't remember. Just after half an hour, if someone will ask me many times, क्या dress था? I only remember dresses when there are calendar shoots, because that's our service. So, or festivals, when there are festivals, and that also we are critiquing the dress. ये कलर तो था, वापस यही नया कलर आ गया, वो नेक्स्ट ईयर कैलेंडर में गड़बड़ होगा, ये ड्रेस नहीं चलेगा, इसमें बहुत सारा सिल्वर है. People, exceptional people like me can be forgetful of the Lord while chanting Hare Krishna, while taking darshan, unlike you all while sitting in the class. I become forgetful while sitting in the class. Now, last week, Nidai Jivan Prabhu gave class. Before that, Shantivardhan Prabhu, they both spoke so nicely. Haribol. क्या चल रहा है? They are externally, we are internally like that. They are externally like that, we are internally like that. Forgetful. But devotees, pure devotees, or even people who are not pure devotees, but they are progressing. See, more and more they are attentive. More and more we always say attentive chanting. There's also attentive reading. There's attentive darshan. There's attentive hearing. Gradually that happens. So these are all ways we can judge. मैं कहाँ बढ़ रहा हूँ? My report card. The size of the material world, 1/4. Size of the spiritual world, 3/4. The experience of self-realization. Self-realization means this. Mere, thoda, fully present. So these 4 verses, they describe these aspects of the difference between these two souls. Basically, this chapter is trying to show us the significance of our world in terms of creation, in terms of the whole creation. What is our world? But for us, it's as if Krishna is fully always just thinking, अरे यार इसका आज ये हो गया, मालूम है क्या? अरे इसने आज ऐसे कर दिया, अरे इसका ये जल गया, इसके साथ ये हो गया, उसका पैर में वो nerve pain चल रहा है. And we are thinking that we are so important. It's like Mahavishnu, he's lying down. Millions and millions of pores, millions and millions of universes are coming out. In one universe, there are, if you remember your science, 6th standard, 7th standard science, multiple, how many countless galaxies, right? In that अपना एक है क्या, मिल्की वे, मिल्की वे, अभी उसमें millions and millions of planets, उसमें एक में अपन. In that, what's the population now? 7 billion? 7 से भी ज्यादा, 7.8. Really? 8 billion हो गया? Amazing. Till I was in school, it was 6 billion. And China was number one. Now India is number one in something. Materially. Spiritually, India is number one. But uh, out of these 8 billion people, that's just humans, so many animals. What significance do we have materially? Nothing. Forget us. What significance does an Adani or Ambani also have in this? Nothing. What significance does that building have on Pedder Road? Pedder Road? Record होता सब कुछ. What significance does that building have in terms of this? Nothing. Nothing. And we want to make our house very nice, and we want to buy multiple homes and multiple cars and multiple wardrobes and multiple vacations, and we should have so many friends and we should do all these things. Does it matter in the long term? In the broader picture, how does it matter? Not at all. Prabhupada, once Tamal Krishna Maharaj came to Prabhupada and he was complaining to Prabhupada, and he was little, in that kind of a mood. And Prabhupada gave him this whole thing. महाविष्णु इतने यूनिवर्सेस, उसमें एक अपना है, उसमें एक planet है, and we know that multiple planets have life. Scientists will say खाली यहाँ पे, but we know multiple planets have life. Prabhupada telling in these multiple planets where there are life, there is one planet Earth. Out of, now if you look at planet Earth itself, from that, Earth is only insignificant. Earth is insignificant. And then Prabhupada says, in this huge planet, there are so many continents. One of them is North America. In this huge North American continent, there is one country, USA. In this huge country, there is one state, California. In that huge state of California, there is one city, Los Angeles. In this huge city of Los Angeles, big wide city, there is one La Cienega Boulevard. In this lane, there are so many buildings. One of them is our temple. In our temple, there are so many devotees. And one of them is standing in front of me and he thinks he's very great. And Tamal Krishna Maharaj says, I was like a balloon. Prabhupada popped my ego. So we should see the material, our material life. We are very good when we preach this to others. Someone is telling me, अरे यार, we'll tell him, महाविष्णु मालूम है? फिर ये, उसके सामने क्या है ये? छोड़ना. We should preach to ourselves. What is the significance of my leg pain? It doesn't mean I should not take care of it. But ultimately, I should not be like bogged down with it. I may have debt, I may have problems in the job, I may have problems relationship wise, I may have so many things. Ultimately, it will all come to an end. If not by the changes, ultimately it will come to an end either way. केशव, बेटा यहाँ बैठो. आगे. नहीं, आगे आगे. गोपाल, इधर बैठो. इधर. राहुल प्रभु के आगे. बस. So these two things we should remember. One is everything is the blessing of the Lord, and the other is what is the significance of my problem. Remember these two things, peace of mind will be there. What is my problem and how wonderful is Krishna? There's a chapter in Krishna book called Wonderful Krishna. वो चैप्टर इतना अमेजिंग है कि प्रभुपाद टाइटल्ड इट वंडरफुल कृष्णा. Once the devotees made a sweet for Prabhupada, which was basically milk powder and sugar. उसको ऐसे करके बॉल बनाया, प्रभुपाद को दिया. प्रभुपाद tasted it. It's very nice. Devotee said, Prabhupada कुछ नाम दो. Prabhupada said, call it simply wonderful. Simply wonderful. So we recognize Krishna and we recognize our insignificance. And then we tolerate this and glorify the Lord. Any questions? 45-minute talk. Keshav Swami jokes, no? He says that once I gave a seminar, one person came to me and he said, I really liked your seminar. I said, what do you like about it? You ended on time. And this actually happened to me once when I gave Bhagavatam class. Person came, Prabhuji, अच्छा हुआ आपने 9 बजे के पहले पूरा कर लिया. Now I am taking it as if he gets some time before prasad. Maybe he's taking it like torture खत्म हुआ. Any questions? Yes, Neha Mataji. Size of the thumb. That's super soul. And soul is 1/10,000 tip of the hair. Yeah. Super soul size is, Prabhupada writes, is the size of the thumb. Super soul is Krishna. So what is the confusion? In your heart. Yeah. Super soul is in your heart. And in my heart and in everyone's heart. Every animal, every. So then, even in a kida, then in that proportion, the Lord is there. Hmm. So if a person is just like Krishna when he was trying to persuade Nand Maharaj not to do the sacrifice of Indra, Krishna preached us this philosophy. He's saying, how is rain coming? Rain is coming because you're doing yajna. And because you're doing yajna, the demigods are satisfied. And you're getting it. Where is Indra in all this? उसको तो करना ही पड़ेगा. No, so why are you doing puja for him? Better, let's worship Govardhan because they're getting everything from Govardhan. He's preaching this karma mimamsa philosophy. So we understand that beyond that, who's the one who's sanctioning our karma? And that is Krishna. Because everything has to have a creator. Or SOS. Every creation, there is a creator. Every painting, there is an artist. So behind this whole creation, there is Krishna. Now, just like when we keep our books of accounts, we require a software and we require an accountant. So in this case, this cycle of karma is the software, and Chitragupt, Yamraj, and ultimately Krishna. So they are in charge. And there are so many examples of Shastra, so many realizations of these great devotees in Bhagavatam, which say that if Krishna wants, he can alter, he can change, he can sanction something which is not there, he can stop something which is supposed to be there. So in this way, Krishna is in control. Because someone has to do something, no, for our karma to come. Just like everything here, someone has to do something. To get the money from the bank, we have to either give a check, fill a deposit slip, put an ATM card. कुछ करना पड़ेगा तो ही आएगा, नहीं तो नहीं आएगा. How will the money grow? Some deposits we have to do, some credits have to happen. We'll not do otherwise. And in that, then when we do the right thing, the bank system will work and we'll get what we want, or it'll go inside. Same with karma. Why should we assume that वो तो automatically हो रहा है? Nothing in this life is happening automatically. Even those things which are quote unquote automatically are programmed by a human brain. Similarly, someone has to be in charge of this law of karma. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says he's doing it. He's the sanctioner. Therefore, Krishna. Yes, Mataji. Hmm. Differences are great. Not that. Whenever Narottam Das, ठीक है? You said that sometimes there are differences between devotees of for us with devotees, and no, this will apply to our material life. Because if I say कि मेरा जपा तो खराब होते जा रहा है या एक महीने से मैं भागवतम नहीं पढ़ पाया हूँ and चलो that is also the desire of the Lord. No, that is not the desire of the Lord. So there are differences I am having with devotees. That is not the desire. That cannot be the desire of the Lord. That cannot be the Lord's desire. Um this is in Bhagavatam also, the Ajamil section, which is there. So it's specifically mentioned there. This is not the arrangement of the Lord that Ajamil went into Maya and all that happened. That is his own doing. So we have to try to rectify that situation. In fact, these kind of things, if there are difficulties that I'm having with devotees, or there are some difficulties in my sadhana, that should be, I should want to deal with it on priority. Just like a materialist would want to deal with a financial loss on priority. It should be priority that I should deal with it. And in terms of sadhana, then I have to keep trying. And I should take some inspiration, keep trying. I failed today, I'll try again tomorrow. That desire to try again should not go away. Even if I fail again tomorrow. सुबह जल्दी उठना है नहीं हो पाया okay, do it again नहीं हो पाया okay, do it again. But that if I get comfortable, हाँ ठीक है ये तो होने ही नहीं वाला है ना अभी मेरा situation life का ही ऐसा है. That I should not get into that. Regarding differences with devotees, I should sort it out. That should not happen. And after trying my best to sort it out, if it is still the issue from the other side, then I have done my part. I should try my best. So I am also in that same mess. So it's not as if I can give you any realized gyan on this. But what is the actual solution is more Shravan and Kirtan. More Shravan and Kirtan. The more we are hearing something, the more it will be in our mind. The more we are, one person told me today, अरे यार वो इलेक्शन न्यूज 2-3 दिन देख के मैं इतना माइंड मेरा इतना खराब हो गया है मैंने प्रण लिया है 1 month का न्यूज फास्ट why because then even when you're not doing it's always going on in your mind. That's an example. It could be the World Cup final. People were depressed, people had heart attacks. So now you look at it the other way around. Devotees in their free time they are either listening to some katha or some philosophical lecture or some kirtan. Whenever they get time they're reading. Whenever they get time they come to the temple or they're talking to devotees. If that is there, then there is a better chance of being more conscious of Krishna. If every day I make it a habit of taking darshan of Radha Rasbihari online, then the day I come, I may be more attentive to the darshan because I've made it a habit every day to seek the darshan on the phone. Every day I go to iskonmumbai.com, live darshan, या I go to YouTube ISKCON Mumbai and मैं राधा रसबी का दर्शन दे रहा हूँ. Every day I make it a habit, or I've joined some WhatsApp group जिसमें daily darshan आता है. We have our Bhivandi Radha Madhav, daily darshan comes. Attapur Radha Madhav, daily darshan comes. So I'm into the habit of watching that. So the day I go and visit, I may be more conscious of it. Same thing with hearing, same thing with chanting, same thing with coming for class. So that's the at least the thing which I can share is the more we do it, the more we will be conscious because the same we are realized that the same applies in our material life. The more you think of something, the more you hear something, the more you contemplate on something, you will think of that even when you're not doing that activity. Same will apply in spiritual life also. You should just do it. नहाने जा रहे हो फोन लेके जाओ लेक्चर सुनो मोनोटोनस काम कर रहे हो लेक्चर सुनो ट्रैवल कर रहे हो लेक्चर सुनो अभी अगर अपना हाल ऐसा है कि हर फ्री टाइम में हम चैंटिंग ही घुसा रहे हैं क्योंकि हम सुबह उठते नहीं हैं देन वी हैव टू after a while there needs to be some sacrifice in our life, voluntary sacrifice in our life to improve our sadhana. There has to be some voluntary sacrifice of getting up in the morning, of sleeping less. It may not be Mangal Aarti, and it may not be at 3 o'clock or 3:30 or 4. For some people, even 5:30 getting up. If you sleep at 12, get up. Make that sacrifice. The sacrifice of something entertaining coming and I'm not watching it. And instead I'm listening to some lecture. So all these sacrifices, attending yatra, whereas I could have done something else. So all these things will add up to then being more conscious of Krishna. It has worked for so many devotees, why will it not work for us? Thankfully, we are in Kali Yuga, where the process is chanting the holy names of the Lord. The process is Srimad Bhagavatam and chanting the holy name. These two things. So the more we connect ourselves to these two things, the better it will be. Any other question? Okay. We will end with some inspiring words from Srila Prabhupada. Brahma, the original living being within the material world, taught us the way of sacrifice. Incidentally, the word sacrifice suggests dedication of one's own interests for satisfaction of a second person. Read again. The word sacrifice suggests dedication of one's own interests for the satisfaction of a second person. That is the way of all activities. Every man is engaged in sacrificing his interests for others, either in the form of family, society, community, country, or the entire human society. But perfection of such sacrifices is attained when they are performed for the sake of the Supreme Person, the Lord. Because the Lord is the proprietor of everything, because the Lord is the friend of all living creatures, and because He is the maintainer of the performer of sacrifice, as well as the supplier of the ingredients of sacrifices. It is He only and no one else who should be satisfied by all sacrifices. Which verse comes to mind from Bhagavad Gita? Bhoktaram Yagya Tapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram Suridam Sarvabhutanam Yatvamam. One who acts on this level will be will only be peaceful, nobody else. Those guys with that building, they are not peaceful. The guys who think they won the election, they are not peaceful. The guys who actually won the election, they are not peaceful. The guys who voted for those people who actually won the election, they are not peaceful. The guys who voted for those who think they won the election, nothing much is going to happen for them also. Ultimately, devotees, only they can be peaceful if they follow. Such a wonderful purport. Sacrifice suggests dedication of one's own interest for the satisfaction of a second person. That is sacrifice. We sacrifice for Gaura Nitai, for Radha Rasbihari, for Sitaram Lakshmana Hanuman, for Prabhupada, for the Guru. Person, and this also, see, as well as the maintainer of the performer of sacrifice. जो तुम कर रहे हो, who is maintaining us? Krishna. That's one of the 6 symptoms of surrender. रक्षिष्या इति विश्वासो गोप्तृत्वे वर्णम तथा अनुकूल यस्य संकल्प प्रतिकूल यस्य वर्जनम. One symptom of surrender is you do whatever is favorable for your spiritual life. Pratikul versus varjanam. You give up whatever is not favorable. That's the second symptom of surrender. We say na surrender, surrender. Surrender doesn't just mean that moment where Draupadi just let go and surrender to Krishna. Everyone does. Today I took darshan at 12:45, and when the conch blows, everyone they raise their hands. That is also good, right? But that's not just it. So anukul yasya sankalpa, pratikul yasya bhajanam. Accepting whatever is favorable for my spiritual life. If that means sacrificing something for it, I accept it. Rejecting whatever is favorable. If that means sacrificing some comfortable situation, I have to accept it. And then rakshishya iti vishwaso. Having firm faith, Krishna will protect me. Goptritve varanam tata. Having firm faith, Krishna will maintain me. So he's the maintainer of the performer of sacrifices as well as the supplier of all ingredients. जो भी हमें लगता है हमारा है, ultimately if you break it down, it's those 24 elements. Right? What is Antila made of? Those 24 elements. What is, forget Antila, what is this whole earth planet made of? 24 elements. So, maintainer of the performer of sacrifice, supplier of the ingredients, proprietor of everything, and friend of all living. And therefore, Prabhupada says, and therefore it is he only and no one else. It's he only would be enough. And no one else. No one else who should be satisfied by all sacrifices. To satisfy Krishna in this way, we should accept. Summarize? Yes, Mataji. We'll tell you. How? So, Prahlad Maharaj was born of Hiranyakashipu. Hiranyakashipu was the personification of ignorance. But Prahlad was a devotee. So, Brahma is not in passion always. He is in the mode of passion means because it is required for creation. Brahma is बहुत दिन से मिला नहीं है ना तो भूल गया हो. No, he knows. I'll meet him now. So that next time he remembers. वृंदावन जयपुर में ये सब घूम के आया भूल गया हो. So हाँ वैसे ही नीचे रहो करो कर very good. So in terms of that, but if Brahma would be in the mode of passion, this whole samvad would not be in the Bhagavatam. The Brahma would not be used to preach to Narad, who then preached to everybody. So in terms of creation, he has to accept that because creation has to go on. A go-getter will be passionate. He has to be passionate because a person in the mode of goodness will think, क्या फर्क पड़ता है? होए नहीं होए क्या फर्क? That's goodness. And passion means no, I have to get it done. So for that, he has to accept that. But otherwise, and especially our Brahma is a devotee. Not all Brahmas are devotees. Not in every universe the Brahma is a devotee. Our four-headed Brahma of this, he's a devotee. And so therefore he can preach them. Not every Brahma is a devotee. Just like not in every Kali Yuga, the Yuga Dharma is Nam Sankirtan. In the Kali Yuga in which Krishna comes in Dwapar, in that Kali Yuga, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes. And then the Yuga Dharma is Nam Sankirtan. and he adds Krishna Prem into it. So we are very fortunate from various angles. We either forget about it or we are not aware of it. We should be aware of these things. So in that case, then our Brahma is a devotee. And then, in spite of being a devotee, sometimes he's prone to making mistakes. So these are all things to make us more careful. Brahma also thought, I am the Brahma. And then Krishna said, Brahma ko bulao. Brahma came. The gatekeeper is asking, who are you? I'm Brahma. Which Brahma? What do you mean, which Brahma? Brahma? Which Brahma? Right? There's only one Brahma. And then he's seeing all these different headed, 8-headed, 10-headed, 1,000-headed, million-headed Brahmas are coming. Depending on the size of the universe, they have heads. So thankful we have only one head. Only one mind we are not able to take care of. And then brought back down to size. तू the Brahma नहीं है, तू a Brahma है. You don't forget. So that is Brahma. Summary: Krishna is the source of everything we discussed. Pray tribute, be satisfied, happiness or distress, both ways we thank Krishna. Then the two material world, spiritual world, the souls, and then sacrifice for Krishna. Sacrifice small thing like sleep to something big, like some people sacrifice money, sacrifice profession, sacrifice time, service, sacrifice health for service. So sacrifice. Knowing that Krishna is the maintainer, Krishna is the proprietor, Krishna is the best friend, Krishna is going to protect us, and it is Krishna and Krishna only, no one else. Krishna and no one else who deserves this. Then Prabhupada says, the material energy thus works under the supreme spell of his lordship, although he is always transcendental to all such material activities. He is not required to do anything personally, but everything in the material world is carried out by his wishes and direction. Therefore, the entire material manifestation is situated in Narayana, the supreme personality of Godhead. Srila Prabhupada ki. So with this, we cover almost the entire chapter till verse 33. And then the next 4 verses are very, very nice. So please read them. 4 verses only. 34 to 38. 5 verses. Brahma is sharing his realization about Krishna. He's sharing his realization about how all this creation happened in relation to Krishna in form of prayers. And that inspires Brahma. It motivates Brahma to then glorify all the incarnations of Krishna. And so the rest of this chapter is glorifying the different incarnations, and the entire next chapter is glorifying. Each verse is one incarnation. Matsya, Kurma, Vara, Narsimha, Vam, all, not just the Dashavatars. Many incarnations. Brahma gets into that ecstasy. Sometimes we remember our school days and or some good days, happy days, whatever happy definition it was at that time. And then we go, अरे ये भी हुआ था, वो भी हुआ था, याद है उधर गए थे, अरे अरे वो खाया था. It goes on. Brahma is having that kind of thing now. When he's glorifying to Narad about Krishna, Hiranyakashipu he came, अरे Narasimhadev did this, अरे this Vaman came, अरे ये हुआ, वो हुआ. And the next 10 verses of this chapter and entire next chapter is that. And then after that, the chapter after that is about Parikshit Maharaj asking more questions. And those questions become the source point of the rest of the entire Srimad Bhagavatam. Because these questions are then answered throughout the next 10 cantos. And then after that chapter is the Chatur Shloki Gita, Chatur Shloki Bhagavatam. Chatur Shloki Gita we know, 10.8 to 10.11. Aham sarvasya prabhavo se leke तेषाम एवानुकंपार्थम अहम अज्ञानजमतम नाशयम आत्म भावस्तु ज्ञान दीपेन भास्वतम. So there is Chatur Shloki Bhagavatam, entire Bhagavatam summarized in 4 verses. That chapter comes, and then there's one more chapter, and that concludes the 10th canto. Next week we have a very special lecture by His Holiness Guru Prasad Swami Maharaj. So Guru Prasad Maharaj is actually Gopal Krishna Maharaj named him his successor for all management. So Guru Prasad Maharaj is the successor of Gopal Krishna Maharaj in all management. So he is now Gopal Krishna Maharaj of the GBC. Now he is our GBC for Juhu. He is the GBC of Delhi, of entire Gujarat, most parts of India, of Maharaj's zones in Canada, and all these things. So he will come. So Sitaram Prabhu has a good relation with him for some time now. And so Prabhuji requested him and he kindly agreed. So next Saturday, he will give class. Most likely, we will not have it in this hall because we're going to combine everyone, our youth group and all devotees even from Attapur are going to come. So we may shift to Padma Hall, but just check with our whoever is in Padma if they can change with us. Then we. So please do come. Even those who are online, please do come for that and hear from Guru Prasad Maharaj. One, yeah, can you close the YouTube recording?